In today's world, where most of us seek comfort and avoid hardship, there's one man who chose the opposite path, diving deep into pain, confronting darkness, and using his fuel to become the strongest version of himself. That man is David Goggins, a former Navy SEAL, ultra-endurance athlete, three-time graduate of the world's toughest military training programs, and the author of the powerful book Can't Hurt Me. This book is not just an autobiography, but also a mental roadmap, showing us how to break our limits and live a life without regret. Goggins shares his painful journey from being an abused child with zero self-worth to becoming a symbol of resilience and discipline, a dark childhood in the journey out of hell. David was born into a family that seemed successful on the surface, but had years of hell behind closed doors. His father, a nightclub owner, regularly beat his wife and children, forcing David to grow up in fear, enduring physical and emotional abuse from a young age. Those traumatic experiences were etched into his memory, leaving him with deep self-hate, no confidence, and no sense of direction. He once weighed nearly 300 pounds, was lazy, depressed, and had no dreams of the future. But everything changed when David took a long, hard look at himself and realized he couldn't keep living as a victim. He began to change, slowly but surely, by working out, reading, learning, and challenging the lies his brain had convinced him to believe. The 40% rule, pushing past false limits. One of Goggins' most powerful ideas is the 40% rule. He believes that when you think you've reached your limit, when you feel like you can't run anymore, study anymore, try anymore, you've actually only tapped into 40% of your real potential. Most of us are held back not by our true capabilities, but by our weak mindset. Goggins explains it like this. A car may be able to hit 200 kilometers per hour, but when you reach 150 to 160, it feels like it's maxed out. Similarly, your brain will try every trick to make you stop before you reach your true limits. Breaking through that barrier isn't easy, but it is possible. What you need is discipline, willpower, and a consistent push. If you run 3 miles a day, try 4 tomorrow. That's how you break through the wall and unlock your full potential. The accountability mirror. Having real talk with yourself. One of the tools Goggins used to turn his life around is something he calls the accountability mirror. Every day, he would stand in front of the mirror, look himself in the eyes, and ask the hard questions. Who am I? Where am I at? Where do I want to go? He'd write down goals and reminders on sticky notes and post them on the mirror. So every time he looked at it, he couldn't run from the truth or lie to himself. Goggins emphasizes, to truly change, you must be brutally honest with yourself. No one else is responsible for your life but you, and if you're not willing to face the truth, you'll never be able to rise above yourself. Be the leader of your own life. David believes that to live fully, you must lead yourself like a true commander. In tough moments, ask, why am I here? What am I fighting for? When you understand your purpose, you find the strength to endure even the darkest days. He also reminds us, it's not just about knowing where you are. It's about accepting your reality, whether good or bad, and learning how to turn it into fuel. When you face adversity head-on with grit and determination, you begin to build real confidence. Not the kind that comes from praise, but the kind that comes from action. Train your mind like a muscle. To Goggins, the mind is like a muscle. It needs to be worked, stretched, and placed in discomfort to grow stronger. He encourages readers to intentionally put themselves in uncomfortable situations, because it's in pain, exhaustion, and failure that you truly discover your strength. He's run ultramarathons with bleeding feet and completed military training while severely injured, driven only by willpower and mental toughness. He says, when you master your mind, nothing can break you. The cookie jar, drawing strength from past wins. Another mental tool Goggins shares is the cookie jar method. It's a mental vault where you store all your past wins, achievements, and proud moments. When facing a new challenge, you can reach in and pull out one of those memories, reminding yourself, I've done hard things before, I can do this too. It's a powerful way to self-motivate, especially when you're feeling discouraged, lazy, or tempted to quit. Reflecting on your past victories helps you realize that if you've overcome something before, this time is no different. Can't Hurt Me is more than just a story of overcoming adversity. It's a guide for anyone who wants to rise above themselves. David Goggins proves that your background, your pain, your circumstances They're only part of your story. What defines you is how you face them and what you choose to do next. You don't need to be superhuman or born with special talent. You just need an unbreakable will, the courage to face the truth, and the discipline to keep going. As Goggins says, master your mind, and you can do anything. If you're feeling lost, tired, or unmotivated, take the time to read or listen to Can't Hurt Me. It won't just shift your mindset. It will light a fire inside you. Step outside your comfort zone, challenge your limits, and become the extraordinary version of yourself. Because in the end, no one can hurt you unless you let them. And no one can save you except you. If you love transformative, thought-provoking stories, don't forget to subscribe to Epic Reads Minutes and turn on the bell so you never miss a moment that touches a heart. Thank you